Hello, guys. This is Jam Podcast with Joe Morrison and
Matthew Barrett.
We're back at it, week 2. Thank you for everyone who listened to us for week 1. So this week we're going to be diving into different things, history, just talking about our lives and school-related stuff. So let's just kind of jump into it. So,
How was your week, Joe?
it was good. First half of the week, kind of sick a little, but probably had coronavirus or something like that. So, I got through that. Made it through Friday. Made it Saturday where, just another Saturday. Practice canceled and, whatnot. So, how about you?
My week's gone by pretty fast. I didn't even feel like it kind of skipped along.
Yeah.
Today's been a bit of a slow start as well. The hard drive of my laptop corrupted and died. So that was fun to deal with.
Tech, man. God, it's like last week we had that problem too where just tech wouldn't work in our favor. Just every little minute detail. It's a beautiful thing when it works, but when it doesn't, it's just...
And even this time, we had some other technical issues, but we reined it in.
Yeah, I think like this week we definitely got it where it was, we're not jumping onto it where it's, we don't know what we're doing.
We got all the settings fine-tuned.
Yeah, I think we're gonna... I think from now on we're gonna get this down to a science.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's important to mention why we're recording in a different room.
Yeah. You wanna kind of go on that story?
Yeah. So, like I previously mentioned, today my laptop's hard drive died, and normally we record on there, and we recorded it out in a different room. But right now we're having to record using Joe's computer in his room.
I don't think this is that bad of a room either. I think this could... I think it's pretty quieter in here too. I think the sound's going to maybe come across a little more closer, a little more intimate. So,
well, tell us what you think.
Yeah,
like the setting better.
Compare it, see how, and want you to listen, any way possible. So if it doesn't sound good in your headphones, let us know, and we'll try to do our best to edit that or fix problems in the future. My voice sounds a little weird. I'm still kind of getting over sickness, so hopefully it sounds deeper and more masculine than I think it does. But let's just kind of get into it. You want to start us off first?
Yeah. So let me pose a question to you, Joe.
Okay. Yes.
Late starts. Do you think charter or just schools in general should start later?
I think for high school students, I think late starts are a way to go. I think maybe the government or whoever's in charge of just organizing school systems got to, because it's our formative years of where our brain development is. I heard this on another podcast recently about late starts, kind of. So I think with our brains developing and people just change every day and stuff, we gotta make sure that we can be healthy and awake when we go to school instead of being tired and sluggish.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty...
Yeah, you get like...
I stay up pretty late at night, so I like to wake up later. It's not that fun waking up at 6 a.m. every single day.
Yeah, like you feel like when on weekends there's like huge differences between like the amount of sleep you get.
Yeah, I find that when I'm able to sleep without setting an alarm, sleeping for as long as I have, I also have more dreams and better dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Than if I wake up at 6 a.m. for school.
Yeah, it's just like... Yeah, like Friday nights and Saturday nights, there's a different quality about the rest that I get. Maybe it's just stress, maybe not having stress the next day, but it's different for sure.
I'm definitely not a morning person. I consider myself one.
Really?
Yeah.
What time does your non-morning person kind of weigh off? Like, is there a time of day?
Oh, when I'm like up.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I'm out the door, probably by then, because I wake up at 6, leave my house around 7:30, so give it an hour and a half, 2 hours, and by then I'm usually up. Especially if I eat food. Sometimes I like to replace the hours of sleep that I miss with calories.
Yeah, just kind of wake up.
Just get some protein in me.
Just
get going.
What's your breakfast in the morning?
It really does depend. Sometimes it's just a quick bowl of cereal.
Isn't it kind of like weird, like how you breakfast every day, people can eat the same thing, but like if you have like a dinner or lunch, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, but breakfast is so unique compared to all the other meals. Because I feel like lunch and dinner are pretty similar in what you can have.
I mean, you can have breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, you can do that, but it's called breakfast or dinner. But if you have lunch for dinner, it's just dinner.
Yeah, I guess so. Or like lunch for breakfast would be abnormal.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have, like, a Happy Meal for breakfast. You'd
No.
have to have, like, a hash brown or, omelet or something.
But a Happy Meal would work perfectly fine for...
It's kind of weird, actually. I never thought I thought of that.
Exactly. It's so unique. I mean, they say it's the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, there's some day, I remember when I was younger and stuff, I used to look at the weekends like, oh, yeah, I don't have to eat breakfast this weekend, but, yes. Like, now I'm kind of indifferent. I'm like, I used to eat a protein bar every morning, Gatorade protein bar, so I had cranberry juice.
What's your favorite breakfast if you had limited time?
I like hash browns, like good hash browns or really good chocolate chip pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
Those are good, but, or good bacon.
Good bacon will always work.
You smell it. As you can tell, we're kind of hungry, because we're gonna order DoorDash again. So, yeah, that's kind of why we talk about food a lot. But yeah, breakfast wise, I mean, it's kind of whatever.
I think my favorite breakfast would probably have to be almost anything at Le Peep. It's this
that's French, yeah.
a French restaurant in town. It's really good, especially their freshly squeezed orange juice. You buy an entire carafe of that. Pretty expensive, but also...
carafe. Nice vocab word.
Oh, thanks. But just like the Belgian waffles as well. Yeah. And the fresh bacon.
I don't like waffles.
Like
Waffles, I don't know. It's like the texture of them is just, I don't know. It's just,
you a pancake guy instead?
yeah, pancake for sure. You not like pancakes?
No, I like both. I can appreciate both.
Yeah. I can see both, but yeah. Next topic. Kind of want to get into that. Sorry if it's boring so far, but gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
All right. So next topic is can't read your handwriting. Everyone knows Maddie has the best handwriting in the world.
Oh, yeah, that's a topic. We can talk about handwriting.
All right.
And, do we think that schools should still be taught cursive?
I was taught cursive. Were you?
Yeah, I was taught cursive.
Yeah, I can vaguely do it, I think, still. Mine looks decent, but I don't use it as a primary mode of writing.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a bit, at this day and age, a bit outdated.
It almost seems... I know the original intent of cursive, with pens and not being able to have... You can just write continuously without having to pick up.
Faster.
I don't find it as time efficient, even today's age, really. I don't see it. Because, it's kind of awkward if you have a mechanical pencil, too, because if you do it pressure enough, the lead might break, or...
I mean, I can write just about as fast in regular print as others can in cursive, so...
Well, I mean, your handwriting...
My handwriting is notoriously bad.
Not as bad as,
as bad as,
a
couple of our friends.
Yeah. He knows who he is. It looks like that Russian,
Russian cursive.
Oh, man, if you ever want to look up Russian cursive... Oh, God, that thing is...
It's just...
I'm... Obviously, I'm not... What is it called? What's the alphabet called?
Oh, Cyrillic.
Cyrillic. You know what I'm trying to say. Cyrillic. I'm not fluent or literate in that, but even if I was, I don't think I could have read that Russian cursive. I think that would be... It's a different mentality, but... I think overall the whole the idea of teaching cursive, it seems somewhat unnecessary where, a school could teach early on, life skills. I don't think cursive is up there. I don't think it's in the top 10.
I think it's kind of fading as well in popularity.
I think it's kind of like it could be calligraphy where it becomes an art form and kind of a unique art form that some people can do, but I don't see it as a necessary mode of writing still. I mean, I never find myself having to use it.
No.
To read it, like with one of our teachers.
Oh.
But that's not even cursive, that's just chicken scratch at some point. It's just this handwriting.
You go for signatures, but for me, that's about it.
Yeah, signatures. I've worked my signature into kind of a logo, so I just like do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't keep it consistent, so I think all my, if I have a bank thing, I don't know if they might think I'm forging my own bank stuff or bouncing, or fraud or something, so. Alright, just jumping in next. Oh, video games.
Yeah.
What kind of video games do you play?
Do I play?
Yeah.
Lately?
Like, what's your genre?
I really like RPGs, mainly. I would have to say, whether it's an MMORPG or just regular one.
If you define MMO, I really don't know what that means for some reason.
Massively multiplayer, online.
Oh, okay. It's like
World of Warcraft.
Okay. That's kind of... I thought online was part of it, but I wasn't, entirely sure. So you like RPG stuff?
Stuff like, Red Dead, or used to love playing WoW, stuff like that.
What's that?
World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've never gotten into, like, the futuristic kind of medieval, like, Skyrim-style games. I know Skyrim isn't futuristic, but kind of non-realistic games. I prefer a game where it's grounded in realism. I know, your GTAs and RDRs aren't definitely real, but they're my preferred style.
Do you prefer, like, open world games?
Yeah,
or
sandbox.
linear?
Sandbox for sure.
Yeah.
I think just the idea of being able to go around and do whatever you want is something kind of it's fun.
Well, stuff like Minecraft. There's so many
Oh
options.
Yeah. I remember when I first got Minecraft, I was like, "Jeez, this game is." At first, I was like, "The graphics, it's kind of weird. I'm not used to. I want good graphics in my games, but it's interesting. Unlike any other game for me, it's where I can just play it and get lost in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just there's something about it that just connects.
And it's really difficult to achieve that perfect level of gameplay.
Yeah. You ever had those games where like they try to force that kind of style of gameplay upon you, like where they try you should play this because it's supposed to be fun.
Or you have to do this, and then you gotta progress this way and get these things.
Yeah, like what kind of games do you just despise?
I despise.
There's some games just
puzzle games at times.
Oh, some of those. God, some of those games. Yeah. You like Tetris?
Not that much, actually.
Oh, my mom just loves
Bejeweled,
Tetris.
though.
No, is that a mobile game?
I don't think it was originally mobile. I'm sure it's mobile now. It's like the match 3, match 4.
I don't think I've ever played that. Like, is it like Candy Crush kind of?
Yeah, kind of like the OG Candy Crush.
Oh, I don't. Never.
I got kind of good. I didn't like it, but I got kind of low key good at it. I'm not gonna lie.
Low key, a top Candy Crush player in the world.
You know what I mean?
Nationally ranked. Not only a national Idaho math champion, but also a national Candy Crush ranked person.
Can you imagine, like esports with mobile games?
Kind of going back to esports and school stuff. I've always had the idea that colleges should give out esports scholarships. Like I could just. I'm not dissing anyone who plays esports, but it'd be kind of. Do you consider esports a sport?
Well, if you consider chess a sport, then I see why not. I don't see a reason why it can't be one. I think maybe it's smart to designate it as a separate class of sports.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine if you got like an injury playing esports?
Oh no, my thumb can't.
I got like carpal tunnel syndrome.
I have what's it called, arthritis now because it's like CTE for esport gamers.
Immediately, a whole host of medical crew rushes up to you and like checks out your wrist.
Carts you off the esports. God, that's so dumb.
There's such a huge market for it now, and it's just up and coming, especially in different countries, like in Asia. I know they have entire hotels now.
Really?
Yeah,
kind of like internet cafes style?
Kind of like internet cafes, but your esports players can just go, and there's a powerful gaming computer in like every single room, and they can...
I kind of go.
And then they can practice there and enjoy themselves there for the tournament.
It's like kind of like a preparation though.
Yeah.
Like a training facility.
Yeah.
Kind of like, in Colorado where they have the Olympic stuff. I mean, I would never see myself becoming an esports player just because, from what I've read about it, it seems that there's a lot of grueling hours you have to put into it. Just training. I guess like a sport, you have to train, but staring at a screen for excessive amounts of hours, I mean, I already do that enough.
I know. Well, the average American spends 12 hours looking at a screen every day. That seems too high. Half the day. And that's the average American. That includes the elderly, the young people.
Oh, even the elderly would kind of dilute that too because they're not on as much probably.
Yeah.
But there's probably even more people there.
Although I do think the elderly are getting more and more connected to the internet.
Yeah.
I see.
Some are. Yeah, some are just like, I don't know, those talk ticks and gram books. And
I see some people trying to get into it, and there are some elders who I think totally have the internet. Perhaps there are some who are listening or watching right now.
Yes, and thank you for that. Thank you for your generous time, and we hope you like.
We hope you find this interesting.
We hope you understand and like it and stuff. So we want to create this kind of a platform for all people to listen to. But we have a demographic that I think probably will listen to the show more than others. But anyone outside that mean will be well appreciated. Kind of going back to that about esports and stuff. I heard I think it was Mark Cuban who's pouring a bunch of money into it. There's a lot of these tycoons and stuff that are just they see it as the next hot thing. Kind of like how the NBA is slowly became kind of more of a better thing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't watch NBA, but over the past few years, it's like teams like the Golden State Warriors and stuff that it brought in just more than your average basketball fan. It brought in a whole different group of people, brought younger generations, but kind of the contrary to that is there's sports that are fading out, like the MLB. For sure that, I love baseball and stuff, but it's kind of going away for some reason, which is sad, but hopefully, there's generations that, respect it and continue the tradition, I guess. You watch the NHL, right?
Yeah, hockey.
What's that? Like, what's that market like right now? Is it fading out, or?
I don't think it's fading out. I think it's doing well in certain places.
There's a certain fan base, though, right?
Oh, yeah, there are definitely some devoted fans. I know Seattle's getting their own hockey team.
Oh.
They're voting on a name for it right now. I don't think they decided.
Yeah, and I know the newest one's the Golden Knights, right? Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Golden Knights.
I think it was a relocation. I think they exist.
Oh, I don't know much about hockey or that much, or soccer, really.
Oh, I don't watch that much soccer.
Soccer to me is boring. I don't like sports. I know.
Yeah.
You ended a tie in hockey.
No.
You can't. Shootouts, right?
So. You get shootouts, and if that ties, I forgot what happens, but they keep on progressing to higher and higher levels.
Because that's my problem with soccer, is that it just ends in a tie.
Oh, there you go.
I don't like that. It seems like a war where no one wins. It just doesn't seem right.
I just like hockey because, the violence is always entertaining.
It's like a gladiator match.
There's always at least one good fight. When one player throws down their mitts, takes off their helmets, and begins side-arming the other guy.
You ever been to one live?
Yeah, I've been to like 3 or 4 live.
Chief stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to one game like when I was in 6th grade, and there was one fight, but it was there's something kind of interesting about a fight when sports. It's like it makes the sporting better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it makes it
it's kind of more energy. But something that I think the sporting events, and I know hockey by some other ones, is the amount of monetization that's occurring. Like in the hockey game, there's constantly, advertisements blaring off. Stand up, get on your feet, keep on clapping.
Or like the brought to you by Coca-Cola or something.
Everyone in section 211 just won a free Arby's, whatever.
I know, yeah, there's some just gross amount of advertising within sports.
You kind of just let them watch the game and enjoy it.
Yeah,
all the announcements and.
There's this thing they're doing in the NBA now. I noticed when it's on, when they're shooting free throws, it'll go to a split screen view, and then one half will be ads while they're shooting free throws. I'm just like, I just want to watch the game. I don't want to watch half ads and half, I get it. There's you have to make money, but
at the same time, it's probably a better way to do it than.
Yeah, or you could just cut down on paying some people.
Yeah. Also, the whole field of sports commentating.
Oh yeah, I looked it up today. Tony Romo, one of the NFL announcers, he's making $16 million or $11 million, one of those two, doing sports advertising, and that's more than what 90% of.
Wait.
I mean, we could do sports announcing if we really want.
Yeah, well, if you want us to see us do that.
Yes. If anyone out there is working for a sports company right now, they'd like to see us sports announce, gladly we'll take it up. If anyone wants to sponsor us, we will gladly take any sponsor. I don't care what the sponsorship is, we'll take it.
No, we'll put out like a 1 hour.
We'll do anything. We'll do anything. We're not trying to sound desperate. We're just trying to show ourselves that we're open. We're ready for anything. So, yeah. Sports, yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say there. I was just gonna say sports.
Well, speaking of sports and monetization, I heard that the latest NBA game had sports or had advertisements included directly within it that you had to watch.
Yeah, like the free throw part. Like, what were you saying?
Oh, it might have been WWE. One of those sports games had ads pre-baked inside of it. Even if you were offline, it still played ads.
Really?
Before you even launched it.
That's probably like WWE or something, right?
Yeah, I think it is WWE.
I never got into that. I remember like when I was in like second grade or something, it was a whole craze where people were like obsessed with John Cena and the whole WWE. I knew it was fake wrestling from the beginning. I just was like, what's the point?
Yeah, this would be interesting.
It's good TV at that point, but I mean, there's better TV out there, right? What's our next topic for the day?
They were like, pack up. What?
We're talking about the coronavirus now, guys. We kind of jumped into that bandwagon. Ooh, bandwagon fallacy. Yeah, I've according to everything, it looks like the coronavirus is the next awful thing to happen in 2020.
I think people are still blowing it a little bit out of proportion.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like how Ebola was a few years ago. Remember that? Like with the Ebola
But Ebola was actually killed a lot of people. Didn't it have like a 50% mortality rate?
Yeah, but yeah.
This one has only like 5, which is still a lot if you spread it out for millions of people.
And also, the coronavirus is kind of weird though. I mean, I feel like one moment we're like, oh yeah, it's in China, then like anything, it just swept over here one day.
Oh,
that's crazy.
A few more cases in here, one in Italy, one over there.
Yeah, I think the CDC or Trump or someone put out something like, oh, you can't travel here now. A family friend of ours that was going to go to Italy, but you can't now. I mean, you can, but you won't be let back in the country, or you might get coronavirus. So.
Theory recently.
What's that?
Oh, the Zipf law theory states that the frequency, the probability of finding the next item is based on its rank. So if you were to take this podcast or Moby Dick or any book or anything really, and you were to count how many times every single word is said or written down, then the second most common word will occur half the time of the most common, and the third most popular 1/3 of the time, etc. So it's this really statistical thing in this pattern. And I think the really interesting thing about it is how frequently it pops up in so many other places. It's
so
not
does it always apply? Is it foolproof?
In a lot of cases, yeah.
Like, give me an example,
like not this video. If you want to apply it, we could do that right now.
Okay.
After this, I could.
Okay.
But not just that, but Shakespeare.
We'll post it in the comments or something like that. We'll show you how it works.
It's not just English either. Spanish, Italian, Latin.
So what's it based off of? Like, why did it?
Well, no one knows. There are a lot of theories as to where does this come from. But even if you take random monkeys typing on a typewriter and you assign them a random chance of hitting every single letter, including the spacebar, their words will still appear in this Zipfian manner. And even in languages that we haven't been able to translate yet, like really ancient languages, it still occurs.
Huh.
So
maybe it's just built into human nature just to...
But it's not just language either.
What else is it? Nature?
It's like everything, like the size of asteroids falling on the moon, the size or the frequency of elements on the periodic table being mentioned in literature.
But I guess it's somewhat naturally based in how humans think, right? I mean, with reference to language, right?
Yeah.
And how it's just nature, like nature elements in nature, right?
Maybe.
Is that like included as an example? Like how many times you see a tree that's, I don't know, or is it just based off words?
It's not just words though. It was originally discovered, I think, with just English words. Then they saw a pattern appearing for all of the different type of languages and scripts, and then they saw it appearing in random things found in nature. And a lot of theories have been proposed as to why does this pattern seem so popular. Even the way we forget things, like how forgetful we are day by day, is based on this.
So it kind of works like the opposite of it too. Like instead of just how many times we remember this or how many times it reoccurs, it's how many times we doesn't reoccur.
The rate of our forgettance is the same thing as the rate of which we're speaking. A surprising amount of human language is the same 100 words, like 20% more than that of our actual day-to-day conversations. And not just day-to-day, but even Shakespeare uses quite a limited vocabulary relatively.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to, like, just with this podcast itself, we could
analyze it.
How would we do that? Just kind of go through it real quick, or we do it through a series of podcasts too.
Yeah.
I like just kind of go throughout each and talk about it.
And see if this Zipfian...
See if it kind of holds up. So what's the equation actually? Like, what's the thesis of it?
The thesis of it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's...
Like, what is the main definition of it?
The main definition?
Just
I think it's a pattern that occurs when the elements are arranged such that the frequency in order of rank. So the second most comes up, 1 over 2. The third most, 1 over 3.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so you can use this to predict a lot of things. Like if you know what rank a word is, you can predict how many times it's going to be mentioned.
How do you determine the rank in the first place?
There are different websites that contain ranks.
Okay, is it just based off of usage?
Usage. How many times it's used in a particular corpus, whether that means movies or the entire databases with every single...
Like, what's number one, do you know?
Number one, the.
Oh, yeah.
The and of... Like, you can kind of read the top 100 words and it almost sounds vaguely like a sentence.
Because it would follow that, like, over, so it would be like the, of, or...
The and of, is of this, it's very...
No, yeah, I get it.
Basic words.
That's it. It makes you kind of, question how everything's built.
But the thing that bothers me is just the sheer prevalence of this, especially in ancient languages, ancient Egyptian, linear A and B, all of that.
Well, it's got to go back to how humans think, right, at the end of the day.
Then that wouldn't account for all of its surprising frequencies in nature.
I mean, humans' nature are somewhat connected in how... Well, I guess it kind of goes back to the whole idea of creation, but it's a topic for a different time. But
yeah.
I think the language aspect does come from how we think of it, right? I mean, how we perceive nature, couldn't that also be how we think of it?
Well, I don't think it's just how we think of it. I forgot who, I think famous person. Like I said, if you have a monkey typing on a typewriter randomly hitting letters, even that approaches this Zipfian curve.
But there's something innate within...
I think it's not innate with human nature. I think it's innate with
life.
Nature, just life in general. How the universe works, it just...
So there's something
forces.
Interconnected with this.
It's kind of like how you find, the Fibonacci sequence and sunflowers and, different things.
Conch shells and...
all those things.
Whatnot.
It's amazing how much math can show itself in nature. I mean, you really stop and think about how complex a lot of things are.
Well, you just think everything's made out of, atoms. And
yeah.
You just look around, that's all charges of something, or not charges, or whatnot.
For me, I just look at, little rivulets, little streams of water, and think about how complicated the equations are to model the fluids.
Like, you couldn't build the world from it would take you, you wouldn't be able to program in your lifetime if you weren't able to.
There's not enough bits to store all that either.
No. What is, I've looked at this problem and kind of wrapping my mind around it, but what is, gigabytes and megabytes, what is that physically? Just space in a drive?
I think it's just...
streams of packets.
It's just electrical energy. It's all ones and zeros. Which you can think of it like a light bulb. It can be either on or off. And when you string 8 of those bits together, you get 1 byte. And megabytes, 1,000 of those, gigabyte, etc. And all it is short bolts of electricity. Are you providing electricity to this or not? And you can build surprisingly in-depth computer on just circuits. On just a 9-volt battery hooked up to this and that.
I guess, computers are all parts. interconnected and programmed to function. Like, I don't want to sound like an idiot, but I probably will, but how is code built from the first place? I mean, I get you have your different variations of code, like you have your C# or, JavaScript, and, what an physical element of those codes. Like, when you get a basic computer, how do you know...
What is the computer doing?
How's the code created in the first place?
I think there's kind of a hierarchy. You have more low-level ones, which are directly controlling the bits and bytes, stuff like assembly. And I think there are ones built on that, stuff like BASIC and C, and then stuff built up on that, which are more, like I say, advanced but higher level.
What is the physical element of me typing XYZ, and then that hitting enter, and then that affecting how a light is emitted from a computer?
Well, all the letters on a keyboard correspond, ASCII, I guess, and it's Unicode now, to various numbers. So every single letter has a string of binary digits, 00110.
Yes.
So in key code for every single letter and glyph and number on your keyboard. And that parallels into what the actual computer is doing, and it has like a bus, and it's able to store information. How memory works is fascinating. There's a great YouTube channel that delves into this, where he goes about and builds his own computer out of nothing. Out of just straight up wires and a 9-volt battery, and continues on. And I think he actually got up to programming it now. I think in assembly.
Wow.
Because all assembly's doing is you're individually moving every bit and every byte to different registers, different places in the memory, and then you're able to access that. And when you read it to output, hello world or whatever, all it's doing is the chip has something that says, oh, the letter A is this string of numbers and ones and zeros, etc.
Yeah, so just like looking at this computer right now, man, God, that's complicated. I mean, you summed it up really clearly, but it's just fascinating how complex every little groove is.
And the fact that we can shrink it down so small to these little silicon chips that are able to perform billions of calculations every single second.
And that makes the world work, really, because, everything's built around computers now.
I mean, my
planes.
Yeah.
Just...
my CPU is 4 point whatever gigahertz. That's gigahertz every single second. It's going 4 billion,
God.
times.
I think there was a time when none of this existed.
Yeah.
We're at the point in our lives we don't, we've never known a life without computers.
No, I'm raised on them.
Yeah, what was your first experience with technology or just computers in general?
Probably, I'm playing my game consoles. I remember having a GBASP and a GameCube from my brother. I also remember I had an old smartphone. Well, it wasn't really a smartphone. It was a phone, Shrek phone.
Of course.
Bright green, had little Shrek's ears on it.
God.
Still somewhere in my possession today.
Just bring it back for like a little retro tech video.
Oh, yeah.
Marquez Brownlee. Yeah, I think my first experience with that was probably, I think my mom was showing me, what the internet was. And it just, for some reason I couldn't wrap my head around it. I guess at the time I kind of knew what it was, but I didn't wrap my head around it. Like today I look back and I'm like, man, it's so fascinating. There's this whole world, essentially another universe built.
Yeah, and you can just jump into it and escape.
I mean, there's so much. It's weird to think what my life would be without the internet. I mean, just this podcast alone probably wouldn't exist, or we'd be doing something else.
What would we do with all of our free time? We spend so much time connected on the internet.
I know we're going to start sound like boomers in a second, where we're like, oh, you spend too much time on the internet, and kids. But I mean, there's that fact. You're like, man, what would life be like without Xbox, or what would it be like without browsing YouTube and?
We'd be outside, playing football and enjoying Anglo-Saxon sports.
Per your grandparents.
Or I'd probably be inside just reading books or playing an instrument or other things like that.
Yeah, what do you like? Do you prefer a hard copy of a book or like a Kindle?
Hard copy.
Yeah, there's something. I tried those Kindles. I think in 6th grade we had it where we had they gave us Kindles to read on, and it just felt weird. It just
It doesn't feel that natural. I still have some ebooks on my phone and on a Kindle, but I don't enjoy it as much as I do reading an actual physical book, especially old books. I love smelling an old book.
Yeah, like that. There's that weird smell to it, right?
Blowing dust off of it, and just, especially if you find anything like old library books.
Yeah, or like you'll see someone's annotations in like a really old book. Man, that's an old book.
Kind of connects. Well, it kind of reminds me of that one AP problem.
Oh my!
Handwriting.
Oh god! No! Wait, what's it AP? Was it? No, it was the PSAT.
That was a PSAT.
Where the new
now.
Oh my
question.
god! God.
The handwriting.
Oh,
In case you're not familiar, on one of the PSATs
last year,
yeah, there was the first passage in the reading portion was on someone named Now, and how reading handwriting can yield us more information than just.
I mean, I think the message was on point, but the execution was just it was wrong place, wrong time for me.
I'm still upset I missed the point in that section.
I did.
Yeah, I think that was the only section I missed the point in the reading.
Yeah, I find the reading PSAT section pretty decent. Good. I think our teacher's doing it really good.
Yeah.
Especially that one, but I think she gave us really complex knowledge on how to formulate sentences various ways, and
I think that applies more in the writing section. I
Writing,
find myself
that's
flying through that really easily.
Yeah, just like use a colon there, use a semicolon there.
Oh, parallelism, easy.
Yeah.
Half the questions come down to that.
But you take a kid, other kids in certain other classes that didn't have that knowledge this year. I mean, you could look at their ways and see, they might not have had that acute knowledge of this precise little detail. I like the intimacy of our AP class, our AP Lang class, but I wish more kids would take it because I think it's a really great way to even enhance their writing some more.
I feel like our writing's getting better.
Yeah.
Every time.
Because I think certain kids, plateaued
at
the peak of their writing, but I feel like mine's still always on an upward progression.
Yeah.
Like those little, periodic sentences. I didn't know you could do that before. If you did, I knew you could do them, but yeah.
Especially like editing and knowing what sounds right and wrong. Oftentimes, my grandparents are writing something and it's like, that's weak, it's a passive verb, you should just make it more active, or that's a bit unnecessary, how about you trim that out and add this. And even my vocabulary as well.
Yeah, because when you're going through an essay, you want to make sure it's top, and then you're like, oh yeah, I remember that word, I used that in my thesis.
And using all those, especially verbs, powerful verbs, and descriptive adjectives as well.
Yeah, there's some words I learned and I was like, wow, this is... And you're gonna see that probably in our interesting etymology and AP word of the day. Those kind of bounce off one another, but I think those will kind of showcase what we go through in AP classes. Not to sound pretentious or anything, but we just kind of want to show everyone that maybe hasn't taken an AP class or is wanting to take one, kind of what it's like, and kind of how it plays into our life. It's kind of going off that, but it's AP isn't easy, but it's kind of worth it, I think.
I think if you put in the hours, you get what you put in.
Yeah. I think you might get a little more sometimes, too.
Something, yeah.
I think the one thing that AP classes this year's kind of been different about is presentation-wise. That's been a big influence this year compared to our last year literature teaching. That was the Xbox, if you guys are wondering. I don't know why that turned... because I'm an Xbox controller in my lap. I keep hitting it, so... we'll start playing Xbox here in a sec. Yeah, speaking of video games, I'll play Xbox, but... presentations have been really... more... Emphasized, yeah. Yeah.
I think the number one thing to pay attention to when taking AP classes, especially multiple of them, is time management and having to manage all of the homework and organizing everything.
When I said speak up, it just shot up. Sorry if you're on the audio listener, you're gonna hear that, but I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I think you need to know when all your assignments are due and trying to keep track of deadlines. I found there's a lot more long-term work as opposed to just tonight. Okay, there we go. And you'll often be screwed if you save it for the night before.
Yeah.
It
No,
can
we know
work
that.
out,
We know that.
But oftentimes it's better to get it all done.
Or maybe just try to, like, if you have a research paper due, kind of go piece it along. Like, all right, tonight I want to do my thesis. Tomorrow night I do my intro, and so on and so forth. I think that just kind of reduces your overall stress instead of being, the Thursday night before it's due, be like, oh, God, I gotta get 3 pages done, oh no.
Also, just having it done at least the day before, being able to bring it to your teacher, see what they think about it, be like, oh, I forgot that. Especially if it's something related to citations or plagiarism.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. Just know your MLA.
Yeah.
Just know that, like, back of your hand. Just try to even do it without thinking half the time.
Oh, yeah. I'm at the point now I can do it, write a paper at 3 a.m. and still have good MLA.
Yeah, MLA, it took a while because I remember the 8th grade was the final shift over to MLA 8.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, what we use now, and it's pretty clear in what it wants. I mean, there's the nuance, of course.
There's a lot of pretty strange rules I suspect many don't even know exist.
Yeah, there's those ones, it's like I don't know, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's some...
Stuff like involving N dashes and, if it's an Italian work, then you only want to include this.
Yeah.
Or if it's like page numbers, but you skip a few pages.
I kind of wonder why MLA does do that in the first place. Like, why did they think of that as a necessary rule?
I think it's good to standardize some things like that.
Yeah.
We can provide some...
But then again, it kind of goes to nuance, where it's like the law, where it just goes on and on.
I know the latest edition tries to curb that by, list what you think is the author, then list basically the source, etc. You don't need to write New York, it was published there, and all this other information.
Or you don't need to repeat it if it's one after another, like New York, and then...
Or write the word web.
Web, yeah.
Or if like the publisher and the website title are the same, you can leave the title out now.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, if they're the same or similar.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I think MLA is right for what it has to do. I think it gets its job done. I mean, I would rather not have to do any citations, but you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Otherwise, you could just make up things.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make up a lot of things, especially on AP.
Yeah.
Lang exams or AP any exam.
Not saying we would or anything.
But you could be like, in a 2011 Harvard study, they found that.
Yeah, like there's this one essay that we're reading, the placebo effect one. I don't remember, they can't really verify that unless you have a source that you wrote that with.
Look it up online.
Yeah. Right, look it up, parentheses, look it up.
Find the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, 1855 truth.
Why are all the really weird, suspicious sites always like that?
I don't know.
Like when I was doing my paper on vaccinations and how they're good, I had to include both statistics on how vaccines are good and bad. So I was looking for how vaccines were bad, and the website titles were always truth.org, vaxtruth.org type of...
It was not those terrible, look, the look of them is terrible too. It's always those old, maybe 2013 websites that are grayed backgrounds with blue text and Times New Roman.
Some of them have, surprisingly decent infographics. I was like, that's actually a pretty good one. Vaccines contain formaldehyde and aluminum. You see what it does to our children?
I don't get how people get to that stage in their life where they're just anti-vax or flat earth or chemtrails.
I think it's just isolation and echo chamber.
Yeah, it's the echo chamber. Online echo chambers at it.
Because the internet allows people to interact with other people of the same breed of the same...
There are flat earthers 100... you know what, there's always been flat... No, it's such a
history repeats itself.
Yeah.
But the internet allows these weirdos or these other people to group up and connect with one another in a way they haven't been able to in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to again thank you guys for kind of rolling with us. mean, you guys, you gave us the confidence to start in this first place, so hopefully we can continue it on and make you guys happy.
Yeah.
That's not us ending yet, but I just wanted to kind of put that in there and make sure that we want you guys to know that we really want to thank you guys a lot for what you've done. And like I messaged some of you, everyone who replied to my story, we'll get some stickers that we'll print out, Jam Podcast stickers. You'll see it on our logo and stuff. That's the sticker. It's just a square of it. So got like 50 of those. So kind of deal. So yeah, just hit us up if you guys want one too, because rep it up, and then someone says to you, hey, I like that sticker. You'd be like, oh yeah, kind of let them know about the podcast. Because we'd like to grow this beyond our little school group. We want to make sure people out there kind of have an insight into how high schoolers live nowadays, but also how AP students at a somewhat challenging school kind of function outside of school. So
Also, hit us up if you want us to interview any people.
yeah, we'd love to do some interviews. I think that's kind of where we'd find our forte at, is just finding someone to interview, whether it's someone local, like a local celebrity, or we could interview big time celebrities too. We'd be fine with that. Like Hollywood stars, that'd be kind of cool. But
Call us.
keep it real. Anyone at school would like to interview a teacher or a
Student or something.
We'll try to do our best to set that up, because we got the mics. We got we'll come with questions. You guys come with questions. We'll facilitate it. I think we could do a good job doing that. Especially, like I said last week, the investigative journalism. That'd be
That'd be pretty cool.
big part of it. Maybe in the summer we could do some of that. Just kind of set up for documentary work. And
Yeah, I'd love to take some setting up.
well, this summer I'll be able to drive and stuff too, and hopefully you might start working on that.
Yeah.
That way we can meet up more independently instead of having to arrange with your parents and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, what kind of music you listen to lately?
Lately, when I've been doing my homework, I've been listening to math rock, which is rock music.
God,
That's
it sounds so cringe.
mathematically infused with complex rhythms. It's really interesting. I have a compilation. I made my own Spotify playlist of it. I'll put the link in the description if you want to listen.
Can I get copyrighted?
Probably. But some of the bands are from all parts of the globe, from Niger to France, Germany, USA, South Korea, Spain.
Math rock.
Yeah.
A playlist called Math Rock.
It's probably going to get copyrighted. No.
I'll play a little for you guys. If it. That's all you guys can hear. We don't want to get copyright striked.
Yeah.
3 strikes, you're out.
Well, for me, it's the perfect balance between. When I work on homework, I like to listen to music without lyrics because it distracts me too much. But when I listen to something like classical music, I can often find myself falling asleep or just zoning out.
Maybe it's because of 2 hours of sleep.
Maybe that. But it just becomes too soothing, and for me, math rock finds the perfect mix of interesting yet also not so pulling that you can't do work to it as well. There's a variety of genres. I don't really consider rock music, a lot of it.
No. It didn't sound like rock to me.
No.
It sounded just like kind of weird.
There's a lot of variety. There's some synth, but all of it's characteristic of really complex drum beats, like 13/7 rhythm, truncation, and a bunch of really complicated things.
Yeah, I'm not a music guy. Like, I don't know how to compose music that well, but I like listening to music. I like being a consumer of music.
What music do you like to listen to, Joe?
Local Morrison. I'm kidding.
Loco what?
Loco. No, I like a variety. I really like 70s tunes a lot. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's where it's at. Kinks, kind of in that late 60s.
Oh,
Yeah.
50s, 60s, I like that. Like Nat
Yeah.
Cole.
Yeah, I I don't like as much as the boy band kind of style. It's like hear a lot of da 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 da. I like Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, James Dean.
Yeah, I like that kind of rich,
Yeah.
soulful voice. Or it's not soulful, but powerful voice. Like My Way. It's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sinatra did a lot of good stuff. I like 70s. I like some contemporary stuff. Posty. I like your different. I just like it kind of up to what it is. I don't find myself genre confined. I'm fine with something outside my comfort zone, kind of stuff.
I'm not that big of a fan of some contemporary popular music, especially stuff like country. I don't
pop country. I don't like pop country, but the old country's works good.
Pop music is really catchy sometimes, but I don't like listening to it.
I'm talking about like pop country, like the big truck, beer, and women. And we're back. Matthew was saying some interesting stuff, so cut that. Kind of round out the episode here. I'd like to go back, thank our supporters once again. These people will also get stickers. If not, they haven't. They will get stickers. So hopefully they'll just hit me up and I'll hit them up and get them stickers and whatnot. So I'd like to thank our supporters: Jared, Parker, Caleb, Katie, the Jazz Bus, who will hopefully be supplying this intro for the music. You didn't hear on last week's, but today's will be, or this week's will be. The Jazz Bus, the composer Maria, Jackson, Mason, and others. Logan being a good partner in this. He gave us a lot of good ideas. Asher, Quinn, Ronan, Augie, Ellie, Maddie, Delaney, Jackson. Not the other. That's another person on here. I won't name. But they have given us a lot of good name. They gave us a lot of our name ideas. I'll give you guys some of the original names that people had come up with. Some really kind of. There's some lulls in here, guys. Two bored students when we thought we were gonna do board games with it.
Oh yeah.
Mumbo Jumbo, Nerd Herd, Charter Chaos, Rambling of Two High Schoolers, Charter Chatter, the 4-0. That was mine I came up with. I thought that was kind of clever. The Study Hall. I kind of like that one actually. Academy Talk with Matt and Joe. School Talk with J and M. Jam. The Joe and Matt Show, the Jam Podcast.
Also, if you want us to name it to the Matt and Joe Show, Maj.
No,
you can put a comment in that.
All our branding will just be forever ruined.
The Maj, the Taj Mahal.
The Maj. You ever seen the Taj gas station? No. It's a really sketchy gas station. That's the sketchy part of town. Oh God, it's just.
If you want to see us do any activities like board games or knitting, doing
knitting.
Makeup.
Yeah, I'll do knitting. So I'll do that. We could do board games or something.
Just kind of something to do with our hands. A little bit. I've just been mainly playing with a pencil, and Joe is Xbox.
Yeah, I'll just play my Xbox. But I think that'll be. It'd be something we could do. Also, I was going to say something important. Obviously not that important. But we'd like to, just extend our thank you again. If you guys would like to hear us again. Here's what I was going to say. We're going to be expanding our YouTube channel. So we might do some reaction videos and just stuff, kind of just talking on there. Shorter, probably closer to 5-10 minutes. But you just get to see us two doing stuff and just hanging out together and putting more content for you guys. Because we know you guys like what we have to talk about. Hopefully you do. But just keep it up, guys. Thank you very much.
And we're recording this in advance of the first episode dropping. So we apologize if we haven't included any advice that you guys have.
Yeah, we just want to be able to ensure that we can get them out consistently for you guys.
And they should be coming out every Saturday from now on.
Yeah, it might be a little later. The first one, it's going to be a little later that Saturday night, but this one should be on time. Because, it's part of the whole process. We got to get it where it's all in line,
Yep.
Well, rounding out this episode, thank you guys once again. Hope we'll be back next week. And thank you from the Jam Podcast. This is Matt. This is... I was looking at that when I said that. This is Joe.
This is Matt.
We thank you once again. Thank you. Have a nice week.